Hello there guys and welcome back to my channel for another video on my channel. Finally, I know it's again been 2 weeks when I said I'm gonna try to upload at least once a week. Again, hasn't happened. Probably not gonna happen again next week because my girlfriend's coming over, so not really gonna have time for that either unless I find time on Monday. We'll have to wait and see. But today I do have time to make a video and there was something that I wanted to talk about. So here we are with that new video. Of course, if you are new to this channel, please be sure to subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. I know I need the consistency, like I said last time round, but if you are here, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be just very much appreciated, really. And also drop a like on this video. That'd be cool as well. And of course, anything I will add or will say in the video, leave me all of your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. But of course, it is today, the day after we lost to Manchester United in the Carabao Cup 4th round. And that's not necessarily what I'm going to be talking about today. I will probably touch on it as well. But that's not what I'm talking about today. My problem at the moment is the injuries. The injury crisis, if you want to call it that, at Chelsea at the moment. But not just the injuries itself, but rather the lack of communication and the lack of information us as fans receive. And that is both a criticism towards Chelsea, but also just as much, arguably more so, towards the English media. It's ridiculous. The lack of information we're receiving is an absolute joke. And I don't quite understand how, as a journalist, you can work without asking questions on fitness. Like I don't understand how you can, like, whether you work for Sky and do a TV report, whether you work on the radio, whether you write articles, it doesn't matter. How you can, talk about a game ahead of a game or after a game if you don't even know why the selection was the way it was. Like, no one had any idea what was going on with Emerson, why he isn't in the squad, why he wasn't in the squad against Burnley, and why he wasn't in the squad yesterday, but why he was on the bench against Ajax. No one has any sort of idea, but no one asks, and I do not understand it. And I also have to just ask certain questions at both Frank Lampard and also the medical staff, because it's strange. Like, some dodgy things are going on at Chelsea this season with injuries. It's very, very strange. And this tweet came out last night from Frank Lampard's post-match press conference, and basically gave an injury update. He said Emerson, he's hoping will be with us in the next couple of games. After a little bit before that, some journalists tweeted that there was a minor setback in his road to recovery last week. So where does that come from then? Initially was said we'll try to get him fit for Ajax. He doesn't play against Ajax, he's on the bench, and then doesn't even get on the bench in the next 2 games. And now, setback and hopefully back in the next 2 games. So, that is strange. About N'Golo Kante, we knew a little bit more with just waiting for him to be 100% fit, to not constantly keep picking up injuries. But on him, Lampard said that, he might be back for Ajax next week, if not probably for Palace, but he will be before the next international break, which again I don't like, because that means France will call him back up and they'll probably get injured there again, which, great. Not exactly. And then on Antonio Rudiger, Lampard said as much as he's not sure. He's still having some issues. Why is he having some issues? What are those issues? It doesn't make any sense. He picked up that knee injury in April, wasn't it? At United away, pretty sure it was. He had knee surgery, got back, got better, was over the knee injury, played against Wolves, started against Wolves, played the first half, and just before the break, picked up strained his groin. Strained his groin from a bad Mason Mount pass. Rudiger tried to keep it in play and slipped when he was off the pitch. And then strained his groin. How long is Wolves ago now? Weeks? Like what, 5-6 weeks? It must be, surely. I didn't check. Probably should have done, but I didn't. So let me know that in the comments. But, it's been that long. It's a groin problem. And okay, if he said, some muscle problems and stuff, they just take a little while to get over. Fair enough. But then you usually have a bit of a time frame. Like, usually, depending on how severe the muscle problem is, it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, at the maximum, really 8 weeks. And now he says he's not sure, he's still having some issues. What on earth does that mean? I know match fitness is, of course, a problem for Rudiger because he hasn't properly played since April, bar that 1 game against Wolves and 1 game for the development squad. But what does that, like, how on earth are you just going to tell me you're not sure and he's having some issues? Okay, Ross Barkley will be fine, and Christensen, he'll be fine soon as well. So we know those things. And then on Loftus-Cheek in a press conference, he said something as well. Why he wanted to rest Jorginho yesterday against Manchester United but couldn't because Ross Barkley's injured, because Kante's injured, and also Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's out long term. He's on the road but still away, as he said. Why? Well, why is he still away? Why don't we know more? Like, he said to a friend of mine not too long ago, well, just over 8 weeks ago actually, that he would be back in 8 weeks, which at the time would have meant he'll be back for Burnley. He wasn't back for Burnley. I don't know what exactly he meant by being back, whether that meant full training, whether that meant more training, whether that meant playing. Maybe he was just being slightly optimistic. Maybe he just said to a fan, just to calm the fan down, not saying, who knows when I'll be fit, and just said 8 weeks. Though it seems a bit of a specific statement. But it's strange. Like, where is he? What's going on? We haven't had any updates for 3, 4 weeks now. We saw he's working in the pool now, running in the pool, and those kind of things. We saw Rudiger training on the pitch already, but not being fully part of it. Then at the same time, Rudiger was part of full training before the Manchester United game. Kante wasn't. Now he said Kante might be back for Ajax, and Rudiger, he's not sure. He's still having some problems. None of it makes any sense. And the Emerson situation, I just can't comprehend that. How on earth does this keep happening? He picks up a minor hamstring problem, right? It's not that deep. Picked it up on international duty with Italy. He came off to be sure it doesn't get too bad. He's out for like, what, 2 weeks he was out for? He starts against Liverpool, and he has to come off after less than 15 minutes or so. And okay, then Lampard goes, okay, when a muscle injury comes back like that, you need to give them a little bit longer. And now he's been out for way longer than initially said. Now he'd even said there was a minor setback. Was it a setback with his hamstring problem? Why are we having setbacks with hamstring problems? If anything, we were one of the clubs that very, very rarely had muscle problems, with the exception of someone like Diego Costa. He constantly had hamstring problems and calf problems and everything. But other than that, we very rarely had these injury problems. I can't be too mad about the Hudson-Odoi. I can't be mad at all at the Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek injuries. Those are freak injuries. Those happen, and that's why I'm not like mad about the Ruben injury, saying, "Oh, we're doing something wrong." It's a very complicated injury. It can't always go as well as it did for Hudson-Odoi, with him getting back so quickly. With Ruben, it was certainly a little bit different, and it seems to be taking a little bit longer. We have no time frame. When he initially got injured, they were speaking about November, December, possibly only 2020. Then later on in the summer, it was said, oh, maybe mid-November, early December, they'll be back playing. And now we just have no information. Like, how can we have information in August, but no information late October, almost November? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And the Kante situation as well. I think Lampard got a couple of those things wrong. I know we don't have a particularly thick squad, but he shouldn't have played against Lille. He shouldn't have played against Southampton. And then he probably wouldn't have gone on international duty and picked up another injury as well. Like, I know he wants, the best for the squad, and we know how good N'Golo Kante is and how important he is to the team. But you need to be a little bit more careful with it. And it's infuriating me. It's infuriating me because, in my opinion, you can already see fatigue. In my opinion, yesterday, some of the reasons why everything wasn't clicking so well was fatigue. Even though you could say, oh, Gilmour hasn't played, but Batshuayi hasn't played, Hudson-Odoi hasn't played that much. Pulisic hasn't played much. Gueye, of course, but Gueye wasn't a problem with it. But Marcos Alonso, in my opinion, Marcos Alonso isn't very good in the first place. Is very slow in the first place. But yesterday he looked even slower. Not just running, but in his mind as well. So, these are just the problems. But at the same time, we loan out, left backs. And then we have Ian Martin just, not being involved. It's like, you know what I mean? It's bloody frustrating. I tell you that much. It's frustrating. It really upsets me. It really annoys me. The fact that we don't get information. The fact that the information that we sometimes do get doesn't seem to be correct. And then they're just random. This injuries just keep getting worse. And honestly, I don't get it. Like, how does this keep happening? Like, I know I'm not a doctor. It just doesn't make sense how people just keep getting injured of the same problem. Like, we have a medical staff. Like, we have doctors. We have physicians. They should know, all right, his hamstring is not ready enough to go out training. So why on earth does it keep happening? Like, I don't understand. And if it does keep happening and he should be fine, well, then something's wrong with his hamstring. There's a bit more of a chronic problem going on, because otherwise we need to be having more scans more regularly. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This really needs to stop happening. I don't want to go on this negative train, because bar the defeat to United yesterday, of course, we had 7 wins on the bounce, a huge win at Ajax. It's just some good games and good performances and good wins in there. And things are good. Things are good. But fatigue does come into it. The fact that Jorginho had to start again yesterday. The guy plays every single game. I can't even remember the last time he was subbed off. He was subbed off in some game. But other than that, he starts every game, plays then a whole 90 minutes in pretty much every game. Did so for Italy as well. And, the guy must be dead at some point. And then we're going to go into Christmas and people are going to start booing him again, because the guy's going to be absolutely dead and going to be even slower than he already is. And I just can't be having that. I just can't be having that at all. And it's really upsetting me. And then at the same time, we got a lone Ethan Ampadu to RB Leipzig, where he hasn't played a single second of football yet, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my life in the first place. Like, what is the loan system? Usually the loan system is good. But sometimes we have these loans where they just don't play. Like, don't loan them to somewhere if they don't end up playing. Okay, maybe they made us promises that he would play. If they did, all right, recall him then in January, but bloody ASAP. This is absolutely silly. And now we don't have midfield option yet. Okay, Billy Gilmour. But the fact that we have 2, okay, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but he was always going to be injured for at this point of the season. But the fact that we have 2 injuries in Kante and Ross Barkley, and we couldn't even do any basically rotation. Okay, Billy Gilmour came in. What is that squad depth? Why are we loaning out Ethan Ampadu? I don't understand. I do not understand for the life of me. Like, the fact that we keep someone like Mark Way, but loan out someone like Ethan Ampadu makes no sense in my mind. Makes absolutely no sense. You know, it's bloody frustrating. Of course, the season will go on. We will hope that those players will come back. We hope that when N'Golo Kante does come back, you know, that he's actually fully fit then, and then doesn't keep getting injured, you know, for the remainder of the season. Of course, something might happen, you know, you never know, but not this constant injury, or it's not always the same injury, but this constantly being injured stops for Kante, because we really need him. And of course, the same goes for Loftus-Cheek. I mentioned that in my last video on this channel on why I think we can possibly make top 4, which I still do stick by, especially with how the results have gone since then, bar yesterday, but that was in the league. As Ruben is so important to us, I need him back. We need him back. It's so crucial, especially in a game like yesterday. McTominay just dominated the midfield, like, you know, Fred as well, but especially McTominay, Billy Gilmour, Kovacic, and Jorginho. I mean, if you stack them on top of each other, they're barely as tall as Peter Crouch. Like, do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And look at the size of the frame of the lot of them. Okay, Jorginho has a little something to him. Kovacic, I mean. Jorginho is tiny. Billy Gilmour is even tinier. Like, there was this moment early in the first half when Maguire just held Gilmour, like, kind of by the neck, not really in a harmful way, but just held him. And Gilmour was just stuck there, couldn't do anything about it. Was just stuck down until Maguire let go of him. It looked like a giant was just holding this little kid. It looked like David and Goliath. And but that Goliath didn't win, that David didn't win yesterday. It's ridiculous. And of course that would harm us. And then even Ross Barkley, and you know how much I dislike Ross Barkley as a footballer, even he probably would have been helpful yesterday. But just imagining Ruben Loftus-Cheek would have absolutely battered Man United last night, and it would have been fun. But like this, it wasn't. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope I had enough recording in there to make a 10-minute video, because especially when it's a small channel like that, you need a 10-minute video. You just absolutely do. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I know this was a bit of a rambling video, and I know, you know, maybe I could have been more positive, talk about something more positive than the injury situation, but it just really annoys me. It just really annoys me. And I know it might not even be the video that, like, does particularly well on YouTube, because people are like, what are you on about? It's not even an injury crisis. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said in the beginning, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's keep it growing. That'd be massively appreciated. Drop a like, especially if you made it this far. Just go down below, drop a like. It doesn't cost you any time. Definitely doesn't cost you any money. And of course, leave me all of your thoughts and everything that I mentioned in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, and I'll see you when I see you.